facility is incredible. You know, and that has really helped us really during camp, having this building just from a mental health standpoint, a training standpoint, to be able to come in here. We have all this room. It's incredible. Our camp has gone fantastic. Our preparation for Western Kentucky's been really good. I've actually brought Billy Lynch, our offensive coordinator, and Chris Thurman are going to talk offense and defense. You know, we look forward. We travel Wednesday. Leave here in the morning, head to Bowling Green to play Western Kentucky. I think Western Kentucky, Jeff Brom has done an incredible job of just having the consistency in that program. They've got 13 straight conference wins, so it's remarkable what they have achieved there. We've got our hands full. We're going to have to play a fantastic football game. They've got 5 starters back in the offensive line. They've got a big tailback. They've got 2 receivers that both had over 900 yards of reception. And they've named the transfer quarterback, Mike White, from South Florida as their starter, who had 13 starts in South Florida. They're a top 10 offense last year. And I think we're going to have to play extremely well defensively. I think defense coming out of camp, we've made great strides over there. You know, it's great to have Grayson Shantz back at defensive end, who we missed all of last season. And a lot of those freshmen are now sophomores who are a lot more disruptive and understand the game and the scheme better. Really pleased with where we are defensively, really pleased offensively, and I'll let these coaches talk more about it in a little bit. The only bad news coming out of camp is we have lost our sophomore cornerback, Justin Bickham, for the season with the ACL, who is our starting corner. And as we tell the team, you don't win a championship with a healthy club, somebody's got to step up. We still have JT Blassingame at corner and VJ Banks. But you know, all systems are go. I think I've liked the progress offensively, defensively, and special teams. And I want to bring Coach Lynch up now, just talk to you about offense, and I'll be back. Come on up, Coach Lynch.
Yes, sir. Hey guys, like Coach said, offensively, you know, really felt like it was a productive camp and really accomplished what we wanted to do heading into Western Kentucky. Definitely have a very stiff challenge with Western Kentucky and what they bring to the table defensively. They are big up front, they're big on the interior at linebacker, and they do a great job of forcing you out on the edge. They're a team that's extremely well coached, very disciplined, and they're going to make you beat them. They're going to put one more than you can block in the box, and they're going to force you to get out on the edge and do some things on the perimeter, which we're going to have to do a good job of. For us offensively, you know, really excited about the way our offensive line has came together. Did some things over the course of really the last, you know, week that has really shored up some things there and have made a lot of progress there. I think from a skill standpoint, our biggest advantage is going to be our depth. You're going to see us run anywhere from 6 to 7 receivers out there, anywhere from 4 to 5 running backs out there, a couple tight ends, and again, we need to be able to use that to our advantage and wear some people down with the depth that we have, because we do feel like we have that many guys that can play. 7 receivers that can go out there and win football games for us. Like I said, 4 or 5, even 6 running backs and a couple tight ends. Probably the biggest thing that we're most excited about offensively is the development of Tyler Staling, our quarterback. Obviously, he's a 5th-year senior, but he's a first-time starter. But as you've watched him mature and just take command of the offense, that's something that is really exciting for us heading into the opener. We'll find out when you know, it's obviously live game action where we're at offensively, but his command and the ability to get us in and out of the right play and give us the ability to do some things that maybe we haven't been able to do in the past because of his command and control is something that we're very excited about and really looking forward to. So again, it's a very good test this week, but I think our guys will tell you that we're ready to line up against someone else and see where we're at, you know, heading into the 2016 season. Thank you.
What's up, guys? These guys are a complete offensive team. Schematically, they really pressure you because they do multiple formations. They do a lot of formation shifts. They'll do slow motion. They'll do what we call jet sweep motion. And not only that, are they good schematically? They really have talented players at the wide receiver spot. They've got 2 of their better receivers back. They've got number 2, Tawon Taylor, is coming back, and then they've got number number 15, who's also Nicholas Norris, who is probably their most explosive player. The one thing that we have a lot of respect for them about is that they're a little bit old school, and when I'm talking about old school, I'm just talking about they understand playing with a tight end. And when you play with a tight end in the game, you create problems because they've always got a run-pass conflict in there. You can't load up against one thing or the other. The other thing that they do a great job throwing the football on first down. They'll take a lot of shots on first down. They run a lot of gadget plays. Really like, we just watched the LSU game from last year again to review that game, and they took 4 big shots in the first half, and 3 of them were off of trick plays. You'll see double reverses, you'll see jet sweep motion, you'll see flea flickers, and all of those will occur early in the game. The other thing that they're extremely good at, they do a good job protecting the passer. They've got all 3 of their starting offensive linemen back, so they make it difficult for you to get there, to get pressure with 4 people because they do such a good job protecting, so they make you change your looks. And again, they're trying to always create matchups with those receivers. Their quarterback, again, they have a new quarterback, but schematically, with the things that they do a lot of things that give the quarterback a chance to succeed. So again, they're a good team. They're really, really a good team. Like Coach talked about, top 10 offensively. They move the ball extremely well. They've got an unbelievably good tailback in Anthony Wales, who runs the ball. He likes to bounce things off outside, but if you give him a crease inside, he can hit his head on the goalpost. I mean, he's really, really quick and fast. He does a good job getting out of the backfield, catching the ball. They present some problems when you do bring a rush on them. They do a great job with the screen game to slow down the rush. So they're a complete team. But we're looking forward to playing. We have had a good camp. Kids are really, really playing hard and playing fast. Again, we've had a lot of challenges in camp going against different things. So hopefully we'll be ready to meet the challenge when we go to Western Kentucky. But again, looking forward to it. Thanks.
Had a great camp, and we look forward to getting on that airplane and, opening up with a conference game. It's unique, but it's one where we've got to show up, and we've tried to, answer a lot of most times the first game you have a chance to come back after the first week and kind of make sure all your thoughts were correct, be it from your special teams or some of your starters, and we've tried to make sure we're hitting Western Kentucky, strong with our special teams, strong with our offense and defense. I think we've got a great plan. I don't know too if y'all know that Tony Levine is one of their co-offensive coordinators at Western Kentucky, so that's where he is. And like I said, we look forward to going. I think we've had a great camp, learned a lot of lessons last season, and we're going to try to apply them and get back to our winning ways and get to a bowl game.
David, what are the challenges opening up with a conference game right off the bat like this?
Well, that's what I mean. It's, usually you have a chance if you play up, you find some of your errors, like in your special team, that your punt coverage may not quite be fast enough, and you have time to make some adjustments. But when you open with a conference opponent, it's one where, we're gonna hit it with a lot of our special teams. We're gonna have a lot of our starters on it. It's not time where you can see and try to develop some of these younger players. We're going to go in and try to use our veterans in a lot of areas.
David, can you talk a little bit about Tyler and what you've seen during camp? Coach talked a little bit about him just taking over, first-time starter, and all that goes with that.
Well, you've watched him really grow. And, he's a young man that grinded it for 4 years, and he never complained. He just showed up every day and tried to get better. It's his turn. I think he's made the best of his opportunity. He has made great decisions with the football in his hand, and that's what he needs to do. He doesn't need to be great first game. He needs to be consistent and get the ball to our playmakers, on the edge or in the backfield. And, like if it was time if he got pressure, instead of taking a sack, he was good at throwing the ball away, to play another down and not try to force the ball in there and get an interception. So really, really pleased through it all that, even though he's a new starter, he is a 5th-year player that does have a lot of game experience under his belt.
Coach, injuries were a problem last year when you, right off the bat, you hit one. Does it just kind of make you feel uneasy? You don't want to go through what you.
No, we are so much better on the injury report right now than we were a year ago, and that's tragically a byproduct of this game. Injuries are gonna occur, and it's about making sure that your next guy is gonna step up and play, without having a drop off, and that's, we hate it for Justin. We hate it for us, 'cause he's a great player. But, you got JT blasting the game, VJ Banks, you got guys ready to step up and play. And, my old Coach Wacker, every year he'd tell us you don't win a championship with a healthy club. And that's where you gotta have your number 2 guys are a play away, and your 3 guys are 2 plays away. And that's, one of the things that we have really emphasized this camp is for those number 2s to make sure every snap they're into it, they're getting mental reps, because they're not gonna get the same amount of reps as a starter, but we expect them to go in there and play and compete and win if we need them.
Coach, you got a lot of veterans in the backfield. Can you speak to how more depth is working in your favor?
Well, you know what, we do have the 4 running backs back, but we'll also, have the ability to play them anywhere we want to play them. Derek Dillard and Juwan both have over 1,700 career yards here, so they've been 2 consistent backs. They're both starters, and then you have Sam Stewart, Austin Walters, and so we're pleased with where we are there. They all catch the ball well. They all have a different skill set, but that you could use all 4 of them on any down.
Same thing with the receiving core kind of thing, would you
Receivers.
got depth there?
Yeah, it's and of course it's got to start with Zach Wright, our lead receiver last year, and he's been elected team captain this year. But you look at the progress that Lance Wright has made since hurting. He missed last season. He's back. Timmy Akala, James Maiden, Darian Pollard, who did not play last year, has been a very dynamic guy in camp that has had a lot of production when he touches the ball. What he's been able to do. Thrilled with the receivers. Thrilled with not only the way they're catching the ball, but how hard they work when they don't have the ball in their hands. And, so Coach Lynch has done a great job of turning those guys into total package wide receivers that are willing to block when they don't have football.
Tyler's got pretty good chemistry with those guys.
Yes.
He named a long list of receivers, so there's a lot of guys he could throw
Zach's his
to.
roommate, so that always helps when your roommates are your leading receiver, or we wish the offensive lineman lived with him too. But it's we have a great chemistry right now in this football team. We've got a great locker room. And like I said, as hard and hot as camp was, it was a lot of fun getting out there every day watching these guys compete.
You talked about last year and maybe the disappointment of not making a bowl, maybe not being as successful as you wished you were, or do you just clean the slate and
Well,
say we're on to a new year?
That's something we talked about. Obviously when you go 5-7 and miss a 4th straight bowl, nobody's happy with that, and there's power in failure. It forces you to narrow your focus. It forces you to analyze everything in a program. And also our players now, I think, have a bigger chip on their shoulder because nobody enjoyed it, from the president of the university to our fans. We're here to win football games and go to bowl games. That's what we're going to do. And just because we didn't last year, we're not going to lower our expectation. We're going to continue to fight and, have the grit to get it done.
David, can you follow up on a little bit this in general? I guess you're talking about it. You've been here a while now. There's been a culture change, and with that comes the expectations when players come into this program.
Well, no doubt. Expectations are great. Expectations are what fuel us. We're recruiting at a level now too where, we didn't have 10 guys in the NFL last year by mistake. There's 10 guys that came here and worked extremely hard to get there. We haven't won the most. We're on the winningest 4 years in the history of Rice. That's because there's a lot of these young men that have come here that are determined and dedicated to get it done and to live the dream of getting a big-time education and going to a bowl game and possibly playing in the NFL. So that's the type of student athlete we're attracting now. They didn't come here to go 5-7. They came here to win football games and to graduate and to keep the values of this university intact. And I think that's actually what makes it so special when we do that.
How tough is it to prepare for a team that does all the gadgets, has so many different formations, has so many options they can run? Do you worry about that, or do you just worry about yourself and what you need to do?
Well, first off, we gotta worry about what we do, because we need to play hard. But I think our defensive coaches have done really a fantastic job of exposing all the different gadgets and, giving them some coaching points of what we're looking for. You gotta play hard and follow your keys and be fundamentally and technique sound and play hard. As long as we're playing hard, great things are gonna happen.
Offensive line, we're really excited to go into this game. Kind of familiar with 3 starters back from last year, and I mean Trey Martin's a guy I played next to since we're both on scout team our freshman year, so a lot of familiarity for me inside. We're just all really excited and been working hard this camp, and Coach B's really been pushing us hard about our steps, about our sets, about everything, and it's been paying off for us. I could definitely see an improvement in steps, and we have a long ways to go still, and we're just excited to play this team. They got a lot of good players back. The weak side linebacker, he's the best defensive player on the team last year, he's back, and they got a bunch of really good D linemen back, so we're excited for the challenge, and we're excited to go down there and play them.
Question? Steve, you guys talk a lot about trying to make a statement, considering playing off of last year. Does that motivate you guys going into this game, just trying to make a statement?
Yes, sir. I think that really motivates us. Thinking back to last year, they came in here and they beat us pretty bad, and last year is very motivating for us. And we were young last year in the offensive line, and we're still relatively young too. And so we all experienced that last year, and we're really motivated to go play this team because of last year.
You have to play the schedule, but how do you feel about opening up with an opponent from your own league?
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. We get right into it. Last year with Wagner, not in our conference, wasn't as every game's significant, but it's a different feel. Western Kentucky, the Conference USA champion, so, I mean, we got to go in there and make a statement. They're going to be ready to play us. Like Coach Bailiff said, they've won 13 straight conference games. They're a great football team, so we just got to come prepared to play.
What are some of the differences with Tyler running the offensive quarterback than maybe Dreyfus or what you had last year?
Tyler's more laid back. Coach always jokes with him and says, "Tyler, stop talking," when he's just standing there not talking. So he's very relaxed, laid back. Doesn't say much. Although recently I've seen his leadership really step up throughout the first few weeks. He really didn't say much to us as the O-line, and recently he's been talking to us more and getting on us a little more, holding us accountable. So it's good. I've seen that in him recently.
So many different running backs able to run. Have you figured out what one is better at and kind of block for them, or is it just blocking in general?
We have so many talented running backs that all we got to do is give them a small hole, and they're going to make plays. All 4 of them. I mean, they all bring something else to the table, and they all have the ability to take it 60 yards for a touchdown. We're just really excited to get to block for talented guys like that.
The whole defense is excited to take on this challenge we have ahead of us. It's a tough team. They have a lot of experience, but now we have a lot of experience, and we're ready to get after them and shake them up.
Question?
You look forward as well to making having a chance to make a statement in the opening game with the conference opponent.
Oh, definitely. We usually open with someone non-conference, and last year we had Baylor, and we also had A&M, and they were good games, but there's not that challenge, that extra pressure, and a lot of our team, a lot of the defense does really well under pressure, and we need that extra button on us to really make us perform to our optimum level. So.
You talk a little bit about your preparation for an offensive team that does a lot of different things. How do you approach what you need to do?
We say, we have a saying on the defense, it's just do your job and play to your fundamentals, and that's really all it takes. Any team can shake it up. Army does a lot of movement. They do a lot of movement. Western Kentucky does a lot of movement. And it all comes down to playing the fundamentals, and that's really what wins ball games. So.
How tough was it sitting out last year? At the same time, the motivation coming back after sitting out?
Definitely, it was tough. That year off was a tough time. I really watched guys develop over that time though, and I've seen a lot more maturity through that time, and the guys have really come into their own and found their way on the defense. So it's been good, and I'm ready to get back out there with them. So it'll be fun.
Has your rehab pushed you harder than you thought it would to get back there?
It has. I've stayed as motivated as I did when it happened. I knew I wanted to get back to the field as quickly as possible, and physical therapy, it gets tough, especially for the ACL. It's just one of those things you got to push through, and yeah, I think it built me as a person, and it's made me stronger.
How do you feel just in general about the defense as a whole from all positions there?
We're looking good everywhere. Now everybody's got experience. We got depth everywhere. Coach Bailiff mentioned the next man up mentality. Well, next man up is just as talented as the first man. So we're really excited to showcase that against Western Kentucky.